Good day, this is Sumit again, and today we are talking about some investment stuff, but not about the usual portfolio that I have, the dividend portfolio, but actually about a stock that is not paying a dividend at all. And there is a good reason for it because it's Tesla and they use all the money to grow, of course. So it's more a growth stock, not only more, it is, and probably you have heard how they explode in value currently at the stock market. So I posted a post on, or an article, no, it was more a post on Reddit a week ago about how I move out of Daimler and go completely into Tesla. And outlined my reasoning for it. A very controversial post, of course, in Germany. So it's a German post. In Germany, of course, we have a lot of loyalty towards the existing brands, towards the big brands, and yeah, therefore we have a lot of discussion going on there. I will link the post in the description. But I wanted to go through some of these points and add some more in this video. And I also wanted to completely full transparency show my investment in Tesla, which yeah, to some people is much money, to some people it's nothing. To me, it's a good portion. It's a bit too much regarding my diversity in the portfolio, regarding my balancing. But I wanted to take the opportunity to buy now, at least another time, a few more shares, because I think, yeah, it will not go down, or I don't expect it to go down to under €1,000 that soon again. And even if it does, probably not for long. So I don't want to wait and hope all the time. Because I expect much more from Tesla, and I'm gonna go through that. So this is the investment I have. It's currently worth €21,000. I invested significantly less, 8,500. And here you can see when I bought. I bought my first 5 shares in 2018. Then 3 more in 2019, 3 more in the beginning of the year, and just 2 weeks ago, around 2 weeks ago, I bought 6 more shares when the share was at 800. And as you can see, it immediately afterwards jumped up because of my buy. No, of course not, but immediately jumped up like €400 more. So that's why I currently have about 150% gains on that. It was much higher, of course, before this buy, because with these 3 purchases here, I of course had an entry price of around €300, and now I'm at 500 due to the latest buy. But nonetheless, it's going only rocket sky up. It's going up, 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 and I hope it continues like this. But let me outline my points why I did this, because I not only bought more Tesla, I actually sold all of my other automotive stock, namely Daimler, which I owned also quite a few shares, but I sold it at a loss. The only stock that I sold at a loss, and I'm normally not even selling any stock, but the reasoning is just about what do I expect from these companies in 10 years? Where do I think Tesla is? Where do I think Daimler is? Porsche, VW, etc. And if I look at my points and the reasoning behind it, I think there will be many successful companies, of course, right? It's not a monopoly market, but I think, or I'm convinced that Tesla is the one that is more successful than now. And from the others, I simply can't tell who will make the turn, who will come out of this in a positive way. So there are a few points I looked at why I did this. First, EVs versus hydrogen, fuel cell, and ICE, so internal combustion engine, ICE cars. And I think nobody disagrees that EVs are the future. Daimler and the others are still like poking around fuel cell. Just today there was the shareholder meeting online, and they again said fuel cell will be coming, and they partner with different companies. They wanted to bring this since I think 2014 into the mass production. Never happened. So yeah, might happen now, but I think it's too late. The world is already expecting and going for EVs. I think hydrogen is something that is probably very valuable for the trucks, so for the big vehicles, but not consumer cars. So I think passenger cars are still going for EVs, and ICE is over. So there will be a lot of years coming where we still make money. The companies will make a lot of money with ICE cars, but ultimately this is a downwards trend, in my opinion, and governments across the world are just trying to accelerate that transition. So that is a given for me, that everything goes to EVs. Next point, battery. Tesla made their investments and their research, etc. Of course, years ago they had to, and the others did not. So they have their supply covered. They bought Maxwell and other experts. They will have a battery day later this year, and I believe they will show us some progress and improvements that just shows again how much further they are, not only in battery tech and efficiency, but also supply and scale of that. So that is of course a big negative for any other car manufacturer, but especially the Germans, as they did not take it serious. They did not take EV serious. They did not take Tesla serious. They haven't secured their supply chains. They are partnering now. They are building their own factories. It's very late. They're of course very much behind the game. Daimler announced today that they will show an S-Class next year with 700 kilometers of range, which I think is quite impressive. Let's see if it actually is that way, but that would be pretty cool. And I would be happy if Daimler would actually deliver something like this. From the past, they made big promises regarding the EQC. They, promises, visions, concept cars, not really a competitor there. So I'm very reluctant on my hopes there. And I have been hopeful for the past years a lot. So that they bring out a car that matches Tesla in specs, for example, reach, all that EV specific stuff, I simply lost hope. So it would be awesome if it happens. I also have, as a German, and I'm close to Daimler, of course, I hope that they make it, because I also have some kind of loyalty to that. But nonetheless, I'm done betting my money on it, let's say, as an investor. Then let's go to hardware. This is a topic that is often discussed, especially in Germany compared to German cars, because the hardware of a Tesla is, let's say, how it's assembled, the quality, and just how it feels is definitely inferior, so it's worse. I think the Germans have so much experience in that, and it's just perfectly done. So this is something where Tesla still has to go a long way. But I think they will make it, with enough time and care, they are able to make it, because they are fast learners. The culture in this company, the agility, the mindset, they are learning fast, they're getting better everywhere. And I think, first of all, how good it is assembled is not that big of a deal to most consumers. It's a big of a deal to us Germans because of what we're used to. But overall, the market, they buy much cheaper cars that are worse, that are assembled in a worse way all the time. It's we have luxury brands and we have non-luxury brands, and a lot of people are buying Tesla. The demand is huge. I will get to that later, but this is not a deciding factor for people to buy. So this is a bias, I think, in Germany, but in general, I think it's not a deciding factor for most people. And I believe Tesla will, they will master this at some point. It's a matter of time. What is the flip side of that is software. And there I think Tesla already mastered it. They are above and beyond anyone else in software, while the German car makers struggle a lot. So basically, software is for the Germans what hardware is for Tesla. And I think Tesla will master hardware at some point, but I don't think the Germans will master software. It's just too difficult for them. Developing software on that scale for these cars, over-the-air updates, anything on the smartphone, the infotainment system, the intuitiveness, the speed, the design. All of that is something that I think they need a talented team that has no barriers. And from what I see inside these companies, the barriers are huge. So much processes, so much bureaucracy. They don't let developers do their thing. Uh, it's basically a lot of obstacles, to deliver good software. And the worst part is that everyone wants to have good software, but a lot of them, especially in the high positions, they don't realize that. They don't realize that there is a generation growing up expecting your car to have just as good as software as your iPhone, especially if you pay 3,000 euro for the infotainment system, and then you get something that you would immediately slap a tablet on because it's better. And the navigation system that you pay so much for is worse than the free one you have on your phone. So I think this expectation will come and will haunt them. Currently, you have a lot of loyal people that buy this, that buy Mercedes, and they will buy it again, and they are used to this. But there is no way that a young generation will put up with that. Let's say, of course, software is something where I'm biased. I'm a software developer. I'm a product builder. I'm a maker. I look at this kind of stuff, and it's important to me. Same with hardware. Software is not equally important to everyone. So some people are completely happy by owning a Mercedes just by the status, and don't care about the software on it. I think at some point, just like with TVs, people will start to ask for cars without software on it because it's bad, and simply slap their own thing on it. Just like you would, for example, an Apple TV or a Roku or whatever use for TV software. You probably would use something like Apple Car or Android Auto, I think it's called, to have the infotainment part, etc., inside the car. But currently, yeah, of course, these companies don't want to allow them the deep integration. But imagine the stuff that Tesla is doing, that they send an over-the-air update and suddenly your car accelerates faster, or the brakes are better, or the handling is better. This kind of stuff is unheard of in the other industry, and I've not seen or heard that they are able to do this. Daimler again promised over-the-air updates by 2024, and this probably only includes the infotainment stuff, so not deep updates like Tesla does, where there is just everything on it and everything is connected. You have the car detects that there is something is broken inside the car, or has to be repaired, and it pops up a screen and asks you to, this is an available workshop and here's an available time. You can book it directly in the car. Everything is done for you. It just makes sense, and this I've not seen in any other car. Obviously, I'm not an expert here, but I do think I have a good visibility into some of these German companies, and from what I've seen and heard and talked to people, I'm not hopeful that a software on the level of Tesla is anywhere close in these companies. And from what we can see on the news, it's also not good. Yeah, VW with producing shell cars without software because they can't get to it now. They want to invest, I think, 9 billion into a car operating system. They're having a hard time. And worst of all, engineers are not really excited to work for them, because the environment is not good to work there. In Germany, they have this reputation of a secure job. You can go there into into retirement, but young software engineers don't care about retirement. They don't care about security. They can find a job anywhere. Daimler and these other vendors, they have to fight for this talent against companies like Tesla, SpaceX, Amazon, Google, etc. Of course, they will get the engineers. They have, they are like the Champions League. And then you have old, dusty companies that would like to have these software engineers, but there is no way. They try to do it with money, but they also can't match the salaries, for example, at Amazon or Google. So I think they are having a very, very hard time to attract the top talent. and rival Silicon Valley or the big companies, the exciting companies, even startups. I think get better and get better software engineers for cheaper simply because they have the environment. Very relaxed, very free. Do your thing. We have a mission. We will accomplish this, and not these bureaucracy and processes and hierarchy everywhere that just slows everything down. So this is a problem. I think software is a huge, huge, huge problem, and it will enable Tesla to accelerate their lead in a lot of ways that I think is impossible to catch up for most manufacturers. Just like they could, issue a software update and every car can now be a taxi or a car sharing fleet, or you can share it with your friends. I think you can already do that, right? You can send a friend a digital key to your car and they can just open it and drive somewhere. Like this kind of stuff, it just opens up new revenue streams for them, like this over the night. They can do it. I think they are preparing for stuff like this, and this is a huge, huge leap for that. So that's a big topic on software. But this software enables so much, and it also enables the next point I'm getting to. These cars, I mean, they're naming their thingy autopilot, which I think is a bad name because it is misleading. But in general, these assistant features, they are recording everything. They are comparing what the software, the AI, or let's say the autonomous driving software would do, and compare it to what the driver does. And they are doing this every day, all the time, since years. There is no way other car manufacturers can come up with that amount of data to figure out. And I will link some talks from the AI team at Tesla. If you are a technical person, but also if you're not, it's very, very interesting. And I also think the lead on data that they have, no chance that another car manufacturer can match that. I don't think, they will solve autonomous driving tomorrow or next year or in 5 years or whatever Elon Musk is saying. But I think they will be one of the firsts. And I think it will be, much better than the competition. People will hate on them if there is an accident or whatever, but there are millions of accidents every day. And, the first mover will always have these problems, and the second mover as well. But I think they will be the ones that break this barrier, and that will get there first, or at least under top 3. I think first, though. Then we get to some more, let's say, obvious points that go out of the car itself. Like we have the charging network, of course, the supercharger network. I've put it up here. I don't think anyone can match that. They have this worldwide, of course. This is just Europe. What you're gonna do? Everyone has to build this up or partner with someone. It will be a mess. It will be a mess for anyone that attempts this. I think Tesla slowly but surely has built up a huge solution with everything included, from chipset to charging station, that is just unrivaled in my opinion. Vertical integration in general, as I just said, Tesla goes from the chips, software, the apps, the factories, the batteries, the solar roof that charges the battery, the charging stations, the service, repair, selling to you. It's not going through dealerships. It's amazing. So they have such an amazing vertical integration and complete customer experience that I also think changing that will be a very tough time. And if you don't change it as a German classic automotive company, every dependency on an external supplier will make you slower, will make it more complex. And as you know, German car manufacturers are currently only suppliers, and they just manage that. So there is so little internal know-how, completely in the car, what they done. Maybe they assemble it, but everything is done outside. So if you want to have these parts together, if you want to design a completely new car, you have to include all of these suppliers. Again, I'm not an expert here, but this is something where I think they are so slow in moving and changing and adapting, that and that's exactly my next point. The culture in the company, the agility and the mindset. These are things that Tesla has the benefit of being so young and having this Silicon Valley mindset, putting what we do in software to the hardware side of it. And I think this is a huge advantage, a very tough one to do. I mean, they also do this in SpaceX, of course, and blow out the competition there. So they have experience in that. But this is something I don't think German companies are able to copy or adapt to change so fast, to release basically every car that comes from, they change the car all the time. They find something more efficient or better to do, they immediately change it. So the car that you buy next year is better than the car you buy this year. And it gets better through software updates. And this is something no other or car company has, right? They put out a car every 8 years, maybe 5 years by now. It's crazy. And I think at Tesla, the mindset and the culture of the people, they work towards a common goal. They want to electrify the globe. They want to accelerate the move to sustainable energy. And this is an awesome mission, something I can get behind. I think something a lot of people can get behind. It hits the zeitgeist of currently with the global warming and the climate change and everything. It just is great to root for that and work for that and help them out. I simply want to support them because it's the same goal that I have. It's the same goal I think that we all should have, to move to sustainable energy. And this is something that lacks completely in the other automotive world. They just want to have more money for shareholders. This is the main topic. And if you look at the departments and the people and the leaders in there, they are not incentivized to innovate or act like founders or something like this. They are there to make their careers good, to have a secure job, and to raise their bonus or raise the salary. And it's not. If someone says, okay, I can do the same with half the people, they are not getting rewarded for that. They will just get budget taken away from them. So where's the incentive to act like a founder, to act like an entrepreneur, to make the department and the company around it successful? It's more a people versus company thing. And this is something that is hindering them a lot. I think it will take years and years and years of change, as it has done in the past. I think it will drag on, and I don't think there is a big change of changing that. And if people join there, motivated people that have the right attitude, right skill set, talent, they are normally burned out after 3-4 years when they run against walls and see that the impact that they can do is very low, and then move out of it. At least that's from my experience. So I don't have hopes there. I think it's very, very challenging. And the only company I know that made this transformation successfully is Microsoft. Since Satya Nadella joined, they were able to change from a dinosaur where departments shot on each other. I think there is this famous comic, to something to the world's most valuable company now, with the greatest balance sheet, awesome products, something that I really, really admire. So what Microsoft did, I think, is ace. And I also want to encourage you, if you are into that, like transformation of a bigger company, read the book from Satya Nadella. It's really good. Next up, I only have a few left. Ambition. So people tell me, when I discuss, Tesla versus Daimler or versus the German companies, people tell me, Tesla doesn't hit their goals. They promise this, promise that, and they never do this. That's not the problem here. What they promise, they are delivering it. They are not good in the timeline. But the other companies, they are promising a lot too, but they are simply not doing it. And they are also not, they're doing it maybe half-assed or a little bit, but then they're not. And there is no accountability kind of, with this whole EV space and moving into that and proper software and everything. Like then projects get cut down the next day, the next year, or I think Tesla has very clear ambitions and goals, and they are following through. The timeline is always very ambitious, but what do you want to rather invest in? What do you believe in? If someone tells you, I climb a tree, and they are able to climb that tree, or if someone tells you, I want to go to the fucking moon, and they land in the stratosphere. They failed, but they landed much, 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 much higher than the guy who wanted to climb the tree. And I think Tesla wants to go to the moon, and they fail every now and then with their timeline or the reach or whatever, but what they achieve is still much bigger than the rest. So I'm completely fine with that. If you look at their master plan that Elon Musk released, I think 10 years ago, and then the revised version, they are ticking off the boxes. The timeline is not the right one, but it doesn't matter. They are still first. So that's completely fine for me, as long as they are reaching this. And as you can see, so people also say that, or at least on Reddit, of course, that I'm a fanboy or whatever. And this might seem that way. I am excited about what Elon Musk is doing. I am excited about SpaceX and Tesla as well. But this whole hype is also something that I think is a good thing to invest in. If it's only hype, well, what do you mean only hype? Hype is a real thing. It's like free marketing for them. They don't do any commercials. They sell every car they make, and look at their social media engagement, look at the views on YouTube, look at how many people talk about them. They are everywhere in the news without marketing. It's the hype, the people that are excited about it, the people that get excited about it, people that own a car like this or are in a car like this. This kind of creating this sustainable hype since 10 years and only, going further, you can see it from the stock price. By the way, I will put that up again. It's not a fake thing or something. Hype is a real thing. It's free marketing, and it doesn't slow down. It only gets bigger. They are getting fans by the minute, and how do you put up with that? How do you have a CEO with millions of followers tweet out something and everyone buys the product, or everyone buys into the idea, or whatever it is? Let that do the German CEOs of these companies. Like, who cares? It's simply a different game. So I don't think on the hype and marketing side that this is a bad thing. I actually think this is a huge advantage for Tesla as well. Demand, of course, different topic. People say, well, in Norway, nobody's buying it anymore and demand slows down, etc. Looking at the Q2 results, I think it's quite strong. They still deliver. Demand is still high. They sell every car they make. And from what I see, what I hear, the experience and the numbers I look at, I'm convinced that why would the demand slow down? It's the best EV out there, and EVs are only going to get stronger. Everyone incentivizes it, everyone wants to go there. And if you have been sitting in a Tesla, there are some chances you want another car, especially if you're German, but people are quite impressed if you are in there. When I drove one for the first time, there were so many aha moments when I was like, of course you can solve this problem this way. It makes so much sense. Why doesn't any other car have done it this way? So I'm not the expert here. I don't have, analysts or studies on the demand, but I personally don't think demand is a problem. And the last part, or second to last, is the stock itself. So as you can see, the stock kind of goes vertical. This is 10 years. It completely exploded. And the thing is, the Q2 results will come out shortly. If they show a profit, they might get included in the S&P 500. So they become validated. I don't think it's the right word, but anyways, they might get included in the S&P 500. If they get included in the S&P 500, all these funds, all these ETFs, all these ETFs matching the S&P 500 have to buy Tesla. Creates a huge demand on the stock further sending it upwards. This is at least my expectation, and that's also why I wanted to buy now. I wanted to buy before they show the Q2 results. And I don't buy to sell afterwards. I buy for the next 10, 20, 30 years. So, but I wanted to get in earlier. I think this is a company like the other big ones, the big tech companies, Amazon, etc. And we are at the beginning here. I think we're at step 5 of 8 or something when they're trying to execute. And 2020 is a year where all the puzzle pieces are coming together, from solar to the charging network to the battery, to the overall car portfolio. So people will realize, I think, what they have done and how much in the lead they are. They are juggling a lot of different things at once. And again, S&P 500 inclusion will send up the stock, in my opinion. So that's why I wanted to get in early. And the last part, of course, is Elon Musk. This is, of course, something where would Tesla be without Elon Musk? Stuff like this. It's very, of course, he is the company in the public face, and he gives everything. So I've read his biography, and of course I'm following a little bit what he's doing and trying to stay up to date on the stuff from Tesla, SpaceX, and on Elon Musk. And yeah, he has, his flaws and here and there, like smoking weed for everyone. I mean, that's considered a flaw if you compare him to the German CEOs and think it's unprofessional or whatever. I personally think he's real. He's a human being. He's a nerd. I can reflect myself much more in him than any other German CEO. He makes jokes. He tweets. He does stuff that's cool. Sends a car to space. This is stuff like no German CEO would ever do, and it's just cool. That's it. I don't think there is any way around it. And this unprofessional or whatever. This is like Mark Zuckerberg coming into Peter Thiel's office with like sweatpants and stuff instead of a suit. Who cares? Like, I don't care if he's not like other CEOs or German CEOs specifically. I actually think it's a good thing, and it doesn't matter if you like the guy or not, but Elon Musk gives his brain power, his energy, his life, all his money into advancing the human race with SpaceX and Tesla. And I don't understand how anyone can root against that. These goals, if he reaches them, if anyone reaches them, are a great achievement and a great goal to strive for. So I don't understand why you would bet against him or stand in his way. I would rather say, get out of the way and let him move, if you don't want to support him. But I think these are fantastic goals, and I think they are so ambitious. No one else tried it. No one else was able to do this kind of stuff. Tesla single-handedly excited the world about EVs. And this is something that I think no one can disagree on. If you look at the past 10 years, they will laugh at from everyone, especially in Germany. No one is laughing now. Now people are checking, how the hell can we, compete? So definitely not the usual CEO, and I think that's a good thing. So that was a long video, but these were my points why I think Tesla not only has a stock that went vertical. I think there is much more way to go. That's why I bought at these prices here. Now it's a little bit overweight in my overall portfolio, so I'm staying out now on buying, but I will definitely holding this for long. I send a link to this portfolio, have it also in the description below if you want to take a look yourself and see some of the details here and stuff like this. But yeah, this is my position on Tesla. Of course, I'm not an expert or advisor or any of this. Do your own due diligence and decide on your own what you do with your money. This was just entertainment purposes and my own opinion. So that's it for this video. Thank you for checking it out, and hopefully you have an opinion too. So tell me in the comments what the hell is wrong with me, or if you agree, and how you would do it. Thank you and have a good one. See you in the next video.